little bit quiet with the music. Okay. Okay, this is why my friend called me and said, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" I just what? Are you laughing at me?
No.
Yeah, my friend called me and he was like, "What the fuck?" I really want. My neighbor just walked by. I really want to be friends with him because he is alone. I've seen one person come over since I moved in here. Okay, that's irrelevant. That's none of my business. Okay, I jumped on here just because, off of a whim, as usual. Just, unprepared, ill-prepared, whatever you want to call it. I love what the natural light is doing for me, though, except for my hair. Anywho, yeah. Emotional development is vital when it comes to child rearing. Emotional support. Children have to be raised by someone who is capable of being emotionally supportive. The person I was forced to allow to raise my child does not have the ability to be emotionally supportive to anyone. At all. And because of this, my child is having issues understanding emotions, understanding other people's emotions towards her. We had a little bit of a riff this afternoon. I was upset because I needed to go to the pharmacy. I told her yesterday that we needed to go to the pharmacy today. I told her when she got home from school that we needed to go to the pharmacy, and she got to a point where she just said no. I said, "Get up, get your shoes on, and let's go." And she said, "No." What do you do then? I took away the Xbox, I took away the phone, and she still said no. I don't abuse children, and I don't ever think it's okay. So I get pushed and pushed and pushed, and I'm just like, oh my God, why is she doing this? Like, really? We've already discussed this. And I got so upset that I ended up yelling. When I yell, it makes her feel like I'm disappointed in her or mad at her. And I try to express when I'm angry. It's difficult. I try to make sure while I'm angry that I'm mindful of what I'm saying. Sometimes I do still say things that can be hurtful. But I try as I'm upset to help her understand I'm not mad or disappointed or angry or upset with her. I'm upset with her behaviors, and I know it's something we have to work together to understand and to change. And I know it's not going to happen overnight, but I still get frustrated. I'm human. And so I finally just broke, and I'm like, okay, well, fine. You sit here, you relax, you get the rest you need. I'm going to go do what I have to do. I left. I posted something on Twitter like, F Jeff Miller and Larson Justice Center, you cocksuckers. And then I was like, sorry for verbally abusing you. No, I'm not, because you deserve every word I have to say. But I really have to apologize because it's not acceptable to verbally abuse anyone, even if you are angry and you hate them. If you hate someone and you don't have anything nice to say, you probably shouldn't say anything at all. So I apologize for that. But we have to have that going on in the background. It's distracting. Needless to say, I stopped. I didn't go do what I had to do. I stopped halfway down the block. I turned around and I walked back home. I wasn't comfortable leaving my daughter here alone. I wasn't comfortable for whatever reason. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to that because of him and because of what's gone on, because of her being removed from me so many times against my will and without any right, without any cause, against state statutes that were supposed to protect me against unlawfully. She was unlawfully removed from me several times. And like I said, I was forced to allow someone who's not emotionally equipped to raise children, raise her. Hi, Crystal. We're going over the Lydia's foot-o bombing me. Yes, you are foot-o bombing me.
Me?
Yes, your foot-o bombing me. I'm going over what I went over on
Instagram
and Twitter. I want people to be aware of what happens to children emotionally when their emotional development. Number one, she was deprived of her mother. She was deprived of her biological family altogether. She was placed with a man that had no business having children. He was no relation to her. He is not in any way, shape, or form bonded to her. He removed her from my possession physically without my permission when she was a few weeks old. So, well, between 4 and 6 weeks old. And it took me until she was 10 months old to get the courts to help me. I called police several times. They refused to help me until there was a court order. When I finally got the court order, it was 10 months later. She was 10 months old. And during those 10 months, I struggled with him, trying to get him to give her to me, to allow her to be with me. He kept insisting, you can't take care of her. You can't have her out here with you. I was renting a room from someone prior to that. He got me kicked out of the room I was renting. And where I was after that was none of his business. I never was out there with her, like sleeping in the streets or anything. It wasn't how it was. But he would convince me repeatedly. Not convince me, but really give me no choice and tell me that's what it was. You can't take care of her. You're out there. She doesn't need to be out there with you. She's here with me. She's safe, blah, blah, blah. And then he would take her running around, tweaked the fuck out, going everywhere he was going to do drugs and carrying her along with him. And then later on, he turned around and accused me of being a meth addict that was toting my child around with me. Which was not the case. That being said, because my child has been deprived of emotional support, her emotional development is very challenged. There's a lot of feelings I can't help her understand, but I understand that she feels them because, and people don't realize how vital the maternal connection is and how vital a child being with their mother from ages birth to 5 is essential for their attachment, emotional development, neurological development. There's so much developing during that period of time that it affects their ability to build and maintain healthy relationships. It affects their ability to understand and develop healthy emotions. It affects their ability to function as they become adults. It affects their ability to function and understand their feelings, and it's what leads to a lot of mental health issues. I'm very angry at Larson Injustice Center, and Larson Injustice Center, Jeffrey Martin Miller. I despise you guys. I pray, if there is a God up there, if there is a God out there, or if there's just a kind person that understands my desperation and an attorney that's willing to help me, I have every right to sue for justice for my children. I just want justice for my children. 2 of them are grown. This one right behind me is not yet grown. She's 14, but they deserve justice. They've been deprived and robbed of I'm a good mother. I am a good mother. And their ideas of me, their understandings of me is very warped and distorted. And I don't want to blame that on any one person, but it's because they have not had the ability or the opportunity to be with me as their mother and to have me be there for them. Jeffrey Martin Miller has caused a lot of destruction. And so when I came back, I'm going to get emotional just like I did on Twitter and Instagram. When I came back, she threw this over the wall to me. She crumbled it up and she threw it, I say at me, but she threw it to me. And I just want people to hear these things, because these are a result of having to grow up with someone raising her against her mother's will and against her will. She repeatedly said she didn't want to be there. Against her will, my will, and her biological father's will. She was raised with a man who was emotionally incompetent. If you ask me, he's very emotionally incompetent. No one that should ever be raising children, especially because emotional development is very vital to our existence and very vital to our survival and our ability to function and coexist with others, to accept ourselves, to love others, to understand the needs of others, to understand our own needs. Emotional development is absolutely vital to our existence. This is what she wrote on this paper. Why do I feel like this? Why do people always yell at me? Why are people always mad at me? What did I do wrong? And some of these, yes, are normal emotions that children go through, but some of this is ridiculously unnecessary for her to go through. Why am I such a disappointment? Why am I such a crybaby? Why do they hate me? Why does my dad hate me? And she's not talking about Jeffrey Martin Miller, just to clear the air on that. There was an incident with her biological father before she came back home with me to Arizona. It's not that her father hates her. It's that he only has a certain tolerance level for disobedience. And because she's been with Jeff and because she's been raised by people that don't hold or set the same standards for parenting and parent and child relationship, it was something he was not able to tolerate. And he did lose his cool. But he did do the right thing as a parent and get a hold of me and have me come get her immediately. That I do appreciate from him. I don't necessarily appreciate exactly how he handled things because it was a situation that got way out of hand, way too fast. But I don't 100% blame him. And I do appreciate that he was able to call me and let me know and say, hey, get over here and get her. And they sat down and talked afterwards. And I guess despite the fact that he explained to her, he's just trying to be a dad. He wants what's best for her. And he got frustrated. She still feels like he hates her. So why does dad hate me? Why? Why did brother leave me all alone? Her brother commits suicide. They only met, I think, twice. Did you guys see each other twice? Once. Okay, they only saw each other once or twice, but obviously there's still a connection there. Why won't my sisters talk to me? Why am I all alone here? Why am I here? Why didn't they try to comfort me? Why don't they like me? Why am I bad at most things? Why can't I be more like other girls or normal like other girls? Why can't I be happy? Why do they even care? Why didn't mom think to comfort me? That upset me because I didn't know if she was talking about prior to this when I was not allowed to be her mother, when they were refusing my right to be her mother. I didn't know if that's what she was talking about, but she was talking about right now or not right now, but just a while ago, we had a little argument and she just couldn't say anything. I was upset and I was yelling and I didn't understand what was going on, why she was being the way she was being, and she couldn't speak and express herself. All she could do was sit there and put her face in her knees, and she cried. I got frustrated. I kept yelling, and finally I realized how upsetting it was becoming, and so that's when I walked out. When I did come back, when she threw this to me, I was lying on the bed. And I told her, well, you threw it at me, and you threw it to me. You couldn't just hand it to me. Like, I felt like she was treating me like a piece of shit. And I told her that, and she wrote me a little note that said, I didn't call you that. I'm sorry. We both make mistakes. We're both human. We're both learning from each other. But as she walked by, I said, well, when you're ready, I'm ready for a hug when you're ready for a hug, and we can talk about this. And she wanted me to read these first. And that's what she was talking about. Why didn't mom think to comfort me? Because she was upset. And because I was so upset that I didn't understand that my yelling and my being frustrated with her and her not being able to tell me what exactly was wrong with her. Now in hindsight, I know that when it gets to that point and she won't get up and do something, I need to just sit down with her and say, hey, what's going on that you're not willing to do what we need to do? What's going on with you that you don't understand? We have to get up and do this. I'm upset with myself for handling it the way I did because I did yell. I did storm off. I did go on Twitter and say, just because I won't physically abuse my child, I can't get her to get up and do anything we have to. And I was upset because other people have abused her, and that was how they got her to comply. And I don't think that's acceptable. So I'm refusing to do that. I'm not going to do that. She continues to say, oh, well, then I told her next time, even if I'm yelling, if you don't have to say anything. If you're upset, if you're angry, if you're being hurt by things I'm saying, the one way you can stop me is to just reach out for me and hug me, and I will know. Or just reach out for me and I will hug you back, and I will know, and I will be quiet, and I will stop yelling, and we can sit down and figure things out. Sometimes I don't realize that I should be comforting her rather than being upset with her or probing the situation, trying to understand what's going on with her. So that one really hit me. Why didn't mom think to comfort me? On the other side of the paper, she says, I want my brother back. I want my family back. And when I asked her what she meant by she wanted her family back, she said she wants her biological family back. She wants her dad, her sisters, her brothers, my family, and her father's family. Even though we weren't able to be present for her, we were very separate. Because of the court orders, we only saw her. I saw her 4 days a month. Her biological father saw her 2 days a month, sometimes. And her sisters and brothers very rarely, if ever, saw her. I want to be happy again. No, I want my emotions to go away. I don't like my emotions. They hurt me. I don't want my emotions anymore. I suck at everything. Art, music, color guard, making people happy, not crying, not being emotional, and not being emotional. School, doing what I'm told, being happy, and being smart. Now, I sat down with her and we hugged each other and I gave her, she laid on my chest and I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got upset. I'm sorry I didn't understand that you just needed to be hugged at the moment. And then I helped her to understand there's just sometimes when there are things that I need us to do together because sometimes I'm just not comfortable leaving you home because of everything that's happened to us. I have a lot of anxieties that people don't understand. And one of those includes being able to leave her at home alone or with anyone else alone. And so it's difficult for her to understand that because when she was with Jeff, he had no problem leaving her home alone. He had no problem leaving her with other people. These are things that are all normal and expected almost by her because that's always how it's been done. I can't do that. I can't tolerate it. I can't always feel safe leaving her here by herself. And she's 14 years old. Needless to say, we hugged each other. We cuddled. I told her I'm sorry. And I said, next time, if I do start yelling and it's getting overwhelming and I'm being hurtful, I try to be mindful of that. But even when things aren't being said that are mean or abusive, just me being upset is hurtful. And I remember that because I remember the last time I saw my father, not the very last time, but the last visit I had with my father, we were all going to sleep in a hide-a-bed, much like this. We were supposed to be going to sleep and I wouldn't, and he got upset with me. And I remember how hurt I was that just because he was upset with me, and I very rarely got to see him. And now I was finally there and I was just upsetting him because I wouldn't lay down and go to sleep. But it was a long, long time ago. I was like 7 or 8, I think 7 maybe. That being said, I remember that. And we don't always have to say something hurtful. Just the idea of someone being upset with us is sometimes hurtful. And we need that reassurance and we need that love. And so I gave that to her and she deserved it. And I posted things. I wanted to read these so that Larson Injustice Center, Jeffrey Martin Miller, everyone that condoned and aided and abetted him in depriving me and my child of our right to be together, depriving me and my children, all of my children, of our right to be together. I'm angry. I'm angry because my daughter has a lot of emotional issues, a lot of development that was not impaired. And how do I say it? It's greatly affected her emotional development, her ability to understand her own feelings, her ability to understand other people's feelings towards her. It's very difficult for her to feel like a part of things, to feel like Because those are all things, connections, believe it or not, they're connections that are made in your mind during your neurological development when you're a child, the mother-child bond, the bonded relationships. I mean, she's going to go through the rest of her life struggling with feeling like she has a connection with other people. It's in the research. It's in there. I mean, there's ways to help her to try to develop that, but there's no promise. There's no sure thing that it's going to be fixable. She's going to struggle with those things for the rest of her life. And I'm going to have to be that reassuring mother. I'm going to have to make sure that we connect her with reassuring people that understand, not to make her feel worse because she does feel disconnected from people or because she does feel rejected. I go through a lot of the same things, and I don't necessarily blame all of that on my mother or my stepfather, because my father killed himself when I was 8, and that's a very vital bond. Either of your parents being taken from you or being separated from either of your parents or either, it's detrimental. It's detrimental emotionally and in terms of your future and your ability to function and develop healthy relationships, to maintain healthy relationships. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. There was something else I wanted to share. What the heck did I got on here for besides that? I hate it when I forget. I'm sitting here acting like a nerd. I do that a lot all the time too. I run through the house, just it feels good on my lips. I like it.
Mama,
What?
there's something I want you to get.
Something you want me to get you?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's kind of expensive.
How expensive?
It's off of Wish.
What is it? I mean, the worst I can say is no, we can't afford it right now, but hopefully. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about as well. What is it?
It's an acrylic kalimba.
Acrylic what?
Kalimba.
Kalimba?
Yeah.
What, pray tell, is that?
You don't know what a kalimba is? Okay,
I might, but I can't.
I'll show you.
I might know what it is, but I can't think of it right at this moment.
Oh no. Hold on, give my phone.
Yeah, the other thing I'm kind of stressed about, isn't she adorable? She's beautiful.
My friend did my eyebrows today. This is an acrylic kalimba.
Oh, is that like the finger harps?
Mhm.
A thumb harp kind of thing?
It's $29.81.
That's
plus
not expensive,
shipping.
honey. Yes, I'll get you one. I can't
Plus
get it right
shipping?
this moment, but yeah, just give me till my first payday if I get my job. I'm terrified. Not terrified. I'm just concerned.
Oh wait, Evan said he still owes me a birthday present. I don't like it when people buy me things, and he knows that, and then like, yeah, he still has to buy me something. I'm like, okay.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Hi YouTube, bye YouTube.
Yes, I was saying I got my background check. The background check that was conducted by the Teleperformance for my employment. I was auto hired. They liked me that much. Thank you, Teleperformance. Anyways, they auto hired me, and the background check. They asked me. They were like, "Well, do you have any problems with background check?" I was like, "No," because I mean, I'm sitting there and interviewing, and I'm like, "No, I don't," because I really don't have anything to hide. But the warrant that is active in banning, I guess, it's not my warrant. It's a result of identity theft. And I made a video earlier expressing my concern and my anxiety about it. After I got home, I was like sitting here thinking about it, like, wow, what if that pops up? Because they do a federal background check. There's a lot of sensitive information that goes through Teleperformance. And so they need to make sure that they have honest, trustworthy people in there. And and they're like sticklers on their rules. Like, you can't take anything into work. Nothing. Everything has to be clear. Like snacks and drinks and everything has to be visible. Nothing with paper on it. Nothing, you can't write anything down. And it's excellent. It's excellent, except that now I'm concerned because although this warrant that this woman has, I don't know how you intimidate a business operation. I'm still like, I don't know why I really care, because it's not mine and I just want it to go away. But like, why do I really care what intimidating a business operation is? I guess am concerned because I don't know how that's going to affect like people's opinion of me. Obviously, I would never intimidate anyone. I don't know how I would intimidate a business operation, but whatever she did, okay, like it's still there. It's in Banning, California, from 2016. Like 2015 is when she stole my driver's license, and yeah, like ridiculous. So I'm concerned because it did pop up on my background check. I'm just going to have to be honest with them. I don't know. I don't know if it is a concern for them. Like, it's not like it's some crazy felony or it's not, I don't even know. Is that like a misdemeanor or a citation? What is it? I guess that would be a misdemeanor, right? Right? She doesn't know anything about the law. Why am I asking her? What? Anyway, nothing. Nothing. Okay, needless to say, I do have my identity theft recovery account with identitytheft.gov, I think it's called. Identitytheft.gov. Identity theft recovery steps. It's like a website you can report any identity theft. And the district attorney in Riverside County actually informed me that a woman by the name of Virginia Kirby was using my identity. I didn't know that this was this woman's name. I met her like once, saw her maybe twice. Both times she kept telling me I was crazy. I was like, what? Apparently she's the one that's crazy. I was just in a car with her. My friend was transporting one of us or both of us somewhere, and we were in the same ride together, and that's how I came across this woman. But needless to say, yeah. I'm just going to have to be honest and straightforward with them and let them know. I mean, it really is, truly is not me that did any of that. I don't know what she did. I don't know where she did it. I don't know any specifics, except that the district attorney of Riverside County informed me that Virginia Kirby was using my identity, that I could file for compensation. I had no idea what she had done, so I didn't file anything for compensation because they didn't inform me of anything other than that she had used my identity. Come to find out later on, she had won whatever amount of money. Now this I knew about. Her winning money I knew about. She had my friend call me and say, hey, I'm over here. The information she was asking me for, I thought she was asking in relation to a player's card because you have player rewards cards. And first of all, I had given my friend my player's cards to go play my free play. And I had given her, we went to a casino together. I was with my friend. I went to a casino with him. She was in the car. She apparently wanted to go to that casino. That's where he took her. I went with him and them, and well, with him, not them. I went with him. I stupidly told her she could get a player's card in my name if she wanted to play free play. And so that's what I thought she was asking for the information regarding. But she said she won a big jackpot and she needed the Social Security for the card. And I was like, I can't give you that. Like, are you serious? I'm on supplemental security income. And if you're reporting winnings in my name, like if you're using my name, it's going to affect my income. And she's like, oh, no, it's not. No. I was like, no, I really can't do that. And she like badgered me she's like, come on, they already, oh God. Anyways, I have to get my money. I paid to play the system. I won the jackpot. I can't get it without the Social Security number. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. I was like, well, don't be upset when they come to me and ask me because it wasn't me. And if that affects my money, my income, I'm going to be honest with them and tell them it was you. And so when time came and I told Social Security it was her, now they're refusing to believe me. Are you kidding me? The casino already confirmed that it wasn't me. She got me 86th. They sent me a notice saying you're 86th. And I was like, I haven't even been to your casino in like several years, like 14 years. I think maybe that was one of the places he had given her a ride to, but I don't know that I even went in or not. I don't know. But I know I hadn't played any machines. I hadn't like gone and done anything significant. If I had been there, like most of the time I didn't even know where I was. Like seriously. There was a resort that we dropped them off at, but I didn't play any slot machines. I didn't nothing. I just walked in with my friend Charlie and we walked back out to the car and we left because we dropped them off. But needless to say, the casino, I called them. I'm like, yeah, I got a notice that I'm 86. They're like, oh yeah, well, blah, blah. And he goes, well, can you send me a picture of you? And I was like, okay. And then I sent him a picture of me and he's like, okay, well, it wasn't you. He goes, it does match your ID, but it wasn't you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he removed the 86. Said I'm allowed to be at the casino. I wasn't a casino. I frequent anyway. I don't really frequent the casinos while we're bullshitting. But yeah. So they 86 or they didn't. They removed the 86 because it wasn't me. If the casino can verify that that wasn't me, then how come? And then Social Security tells me, well, the IRS verified that it was you. I'm like, no. IRS verified that she used my Social Security number. That does not verify that it was me. Social Security Administration is going to be in some deep shit too because they're taking $800 from me. I am paying off slowly but surely money that I was never overpaid. $800 is what they're expecting me to pay back. They've already taken $400 from me. Now, when I moved here to Arizona, I reported my address as soon as I had an address to report. As soon as I began my medical and everything, my food stamps and everything here, I notified Social Security that I was receiving or that I was living here, which was within it was less than a month that I was here. It was less than 30 days. It was less than even 10 days probably, I think. But anyways, I reported to Social Security Administration my address when I was in the shelter. And that was my job. That's my responsibility. So apparently for the next month after that, they gave me $876. They claim I got $925. They claimed I got $925, but I got $876. So now they've computed another $300. Yes, $300 that they say I've been overpaid. Because I reported my address on time, but they didn't update whatever in their system. So apparently I was still direct deposited more than I should have been. And so now I have to pay back their mistake. It's ridiculous. I really hope that none of this identity theft shit fucks off my ability to get a job, to still go to training and have this job. Because if I can become functional again, I've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything going on in California, all the orders that they had unlawfully ordered, granting custody of my child to someone else, everything that was going on had literally disabled me. It literally disabled me. Now, if I'm able to get a job and maintain a job and knowing my daughter's here safe with me, I don't have any of the stress. I have a lot of the anxiety, residual anxiety. But as long as she's here and as long as we're safe, I'm confident. I'm confident that I can become functional and get off of it, SSI. First of all, it's like $721 I get a month. My rent is most of that, like $565. Also, I'm paying for that phone, the $350 phone that he still has, that the police won't let me report stolen because they said he took it for disciplinary measures. Just because he took it for disciplinary measures does not mean he's not required to return it to the owner. Are you kidding me? IndyHo trolleys, you guys have issues. They better hope I don't find a freaking attorney. They just better hope. I'm so serious. Like failure to protect on so many levels. On so many levels. Failure to protect. They just handed us over to my stalker, who happens to be a sex offender against minors, a repeat violent offender, and I mean repeat, and a registered narcotics offender, accusing me of being a methamphetamines addict. Wow. That was neglecting my child. General neglect is why CPS took my child from me. General neglect. No evidence other than his testimony. None. No evidence other than his testimony. Oh, and they tried to say because I had outstanding warrants. They tried to say I had a history. And they tried to say Jeffrey Miller and Amber Lumpkin, which was my name at the time, have an extensive drug history and criminal records. He does. I don't. He does. I don't have any arrests for drugs. I don't have any rehab attempts because I didn't need any rehab attempts. I don't have any charges for selling drugs, using drugs, anything. I have a history of complying with CPS because they required me. They assumed I had substance abuse issues and they decided I needed to take substance abuse classes. So I did as they said and I did them. Never did I test dirty. Never was I arrested for drugs. Never was I arrested for selling drugs. Never was I arrested for buying drugs. Never have I been out there like doing anything that everyone claims or thinks I was doing. Completely unfounded, strictly based on hearsay. Unlawful beyond a doubt. Unlawful with a capital U. Yes. This lighting and this angle is really doing something for my hair. I like it. See, if I knew, I mean, I know people that cut hair.
That was completely off topic.
Random squirrel. Squirrel! Story of my life, right?
Love you.
I love you too.
Mom.
What?
I really want that chime thing.
It's a thumb harp.
It's a thumb piano.
I'm sure we can find someone somewhere out here. Or someone.
But I want that specific one because they were adorable and they're acrylic.
Oh.
Yeah. And it comes with a carrier thing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I really want it.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I get to work still. Hopefully they're understanding and they will accept my explanation of everything if it comes to that point. And hopefully I can still work. I'm going to try not to stress myself out or psych myself into believing it's not going to happen. But if that happens, I will be paid on the 22nd and I will buy you one.
Ask Brittany to get it for me.
Who?
Brittany.
Brittany who?
My sister.
Oh, well, that's up to you, honey. You can ask your sisters whatever you want. I don't really, I mean, they don't talk to me and I don't. Well, what's the worst she can say? No. Well, then that means you have to ask or do something else. You just have to wait.
I'm not patient.
I know, neither am I. That's why I went out and spent $25 for hair that's not even on my head anymore. And I was so overwhelmed by the like plethora of hair he had in there that I was like, okay, I'll take this. And then when I had it done, it was gorgeous. It looked great, long, but I was like, no, I wanted it short, and so I started to cut it short, and then we cut it short, and then we were like, yes, I like it short, and then when I woke up, I was like, God, this doesn't feel right, and I had to take it out.
You
I know.
wasted our money.
I know.
Don't do that again.
I've done it more than once. I've done that like 3 times already.
Oh wait, really? What?
Yeah. When it comes to hair, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only hair I've ever really truly been satisfied with is my dreads. I love my dreads. Like really, I'm trying to keep myself from putting them back in.
Mother.
Yeah.
You know what the glue does to your scalp?
Yeah, I know. You should see my scalp right now. It's awful. I have this, and then I have seriously, I don't know if it's from pulling it out from not being patient.
Let your skin like heal first, and then
That glue really does my skin dirty. Like it's fine until I take it out. When I take it out is when it really irritates the shit out of my skin. Like seriously. And I get all these rashes and dandruff and it's horrible. That glue is really the Bond, the Super Bond. It's like ridiculously hard to get out of your hair. It doesn't matter what you use to take it out. Especially when you have to use as much as I do because I have extensions. Like it's only like a half a head, but it's like all the hair I have. And it's, yeah. Now it's much simpler when you just do the tracks to get those out. Much easier. But the way I have to do my hair for my dreads, because I have to bond it to like bond all of my hair to something. It's not just blended in with my hair. It's actually bonded to my hair. So that's a lot more glue. Yeah. Or are we good at squirreling or what?
I want that thumb piano.
Huh?
I want that thumb piano.
There we go. No.
Okay, I'm gonna text Brittany and ask her.
I tried to walk down the street, and because I don't have gel or anything, I mean, I have gel, but it's like shitty gel. It's LA Looks, and we all know how LA Looks works. It does nothing but sit there and dry up on your hair and gives you like more snow to fall. So anywho, yeah. Thank God I'm not trying to impress any males out there. I'm not so sure I have it right now. I mean, I do. I have the confidence, like in my own mind. I'm like, sexy. Who cares? But yeah, I'm still like, God, this doesn't look like fabulous. I've got this. Yeah, okay, we've been squirreled enough. I gotta go cook something to eat. My stomach's growling, and I have to use the restroom. I just wanted to share what we are going to have to struggle with for probably the rest of our lives, because Larson and Justice Center thinks it's okay to let emotionally inept, abusive jerk-offs, stalkers, obtain custody of their stalkees' children.
Ignore me. I'm making weird sounds because I can.
Yes. I'm hoping one day justice will be ours, but hope is really all I have right now. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Feel free to comment down below. Feel free to hit that dinghy bell if you want to be annoyed at any random time. Probably multiple times throughout the day.
Probably good.
Until I start working, if I start working now.
Until she gets again.
Everyone, if you pray, please pray, meditate, send white light, whatever energy, please.
Do magics.
Please send your magic everything towards teleperformance and the hiring team that was so gracious as to love me as much as they did, that they auto-hired me. Please send them all your energy and good vibes and everything you can friggin' send, so that they will understand that I didn't intimidate anybody's business operation. Like, seriously, telemarketing, you can't be intimidating. You have to be nice and gracious and understanding. And intimidation is the last thing I want anywhere on a background check, because I'm not an intimidating person. That being said, if there's a God, please don't let this stop me from keeping my job. I'm such a good person that has been portrayed as everything I'm not. It's getting a bit frustrating here. A bit is very understated. It's getting ridiculously frustrating. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the dingy bell, do whatever you want. I don't force anyone to do anything, so do as you please. Just have a lovely day. Thank you for watching. All right.